Yeah, what's good? What's good, my good YouTube people, man? We're back with another Chainsaw Man chapter 120. Whew, man. Well, this is an unpredictable chapter in Tatsuji Fujimoto fashion, man. And the chapter starts off with Naita shooting the chains through Yuro's head, and then Yuro starts woof, woof. And then Naita laughs, like, what happened? I turned her into a dog. Why? Because she spit on my property. Oh man, this is so interesting because this is really Naita's first showing, and so far we get to learn not too much about her, but to get a general idea of her personality. And all I can say about Naita's personality is that she's like a miniature Denji, just childish. And when I say childish, I mean spoiled to the bone. The only Denji like fashion is just how she does the thumbs up, the T, and all this other stuff, and some of her speech patterns. It does remind me of how Denji was in his early days, and very aggressively controlling to the point where she herself is laying down the rules of the house. It should have been prevalent last chapter, but Naita does have a high level of control in the house, so much so that Denji's guests have to obey certain rules and have to act a certain way when they're around him. This level of control is a little bit too much for, I think, a child, but I kind of understand and sympathize Denji's position. To understand how important Naita's upbringing is, you have to understand how dangerous Makima was. Makina is the type of person that the President of the United States felt so threatened, he sacrificed 1 year lifespan of all the citizens and summoned the gun devil just to kill him, just at the thought of her gaining more power, because he felt like all the other nations had given up and he was the last resort, and he still failed. Like, Makina's level of threat level was actually to a significant amount. She actually could have been the end of the world or create a new world if she wanted to. And I just love this so much because it does have so many parallels to Yogen no Naita. Like, I know I said about this last chapter, but I actually went back to reread it. And I just want to say that I highly recommend it. I really can't recommend it enough, man. If you have not read Tatsuji Fujimoto's one-shot Yogen no Nagita, I decided to say it again, man. I really recommend it. I really feel like that series itself is going to be a lot of foreshadowing to the upcoming chapters with Denji and Naita's relationship. Everything there is kind of set in motion. Like, look at the character's name, Kenji, Denji, their both little sisters named Naita. And towards the end of the series, Kenji was actually able to discipline Naita. And if we are seeing what we've seen from Denji and Naita's relationship as it is, it seems like this might be the next step for them to have a better relationship. Because as it stands alone, Naita has more control over their dynamic than Denji does. You ever watch Adam Sandler's That's My Boy? The problem was that one of the main problems of that film was that a child was raising another child, and it wasn't healthier for the younger child for this because the older child doesn't know what they're doing. So they will let the younger child do what they want. Like he said, remember when I asked for cake and ice cream all day? He said, yeah, you loved that as a kid. Yeah, then I end up getting fat. Like, that's one of the major problems is Denji himself needs to learn to set more boundaries with Naita so that he can give her a proper upbringing. Because I believe maybe because of his age, but Denji should be far more responsible and have a better understanding of the world and how Naita should be growing up in this world than Naita would be, being that she's just so young, and because she's so young knows less about the world than Denji does. He might not be the best parent, but he's the only one she got. And I feel like if he were able to set more boundaries with her, it could lead to her having a better upbringing than him kind of willfully letting her do what she wants. I understand why he made the sacrifice, and I applaud him for it, but I feel like he himself didn't necessarily have to do it. I feel like he himself could have set a harder boundary and said, listen, Naita, you're not going to have your way this time. This is called Chainsaw Man, not Naita, man. Sit down. And boy, man, I couldn't even explain to you guys how proud I was of Denji for the things he said. Like, Naita comes first. I never thought I would hear that. Denji, Master Simp. Oh man, I never thought I'd see the day. My boy growing up, man. But when he says no more in contact with Asa, come on. Does anyone truly believe that Denji's gonna say no? Nah, I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's that simple. I don't think Denji has the will. I don't think he's that type of guy, man. This was the first girl that kissed him, and nothing bad happened to him. She just got axed. Like, I don't think Denji's gonna go away. But just a little important tidbits to keep in mind is that Nayuta's powers are nothing new. As we've seen with chapter 74 to 75, Makina does have some form of control over people's memories. Now we know she has abilities to alter memories. We saw how Makina was able to erase Angel's memories of the people that he first came in contact with and a woman he loved, and how she might have altered Aki's memories to a point where Aki fell in love with her, or maybe some other tool of manipulation. Another key note that surprised me was that Nayuta herself couldn't necessarily tell that Yoro was her sister slash a horseman of hell. The only thing that she said was particular is that scent is funny, which implies that she, just like Makina, also has a keen sense of smell, and to her, Yoro has a sense that's different from other humans. Or this could be her being a possessive little sister and now wanting Denji to hang out with her. I think it leans more to the smell itself being different, because Yuro herself is a fiend. So I feel like she herself is able to pick that up. And I could see a lot of people getting upset saying, oh man, Asa x Denji is no longer a thing. But don't worry guys, I got you, man. From Asa's altered memory, there's not only 3 people, yes, 3 people that could potentially save this relationship. That's if Denji tells her about it, which might not happen, but he will try to get in contact with her. That's if Nayuta tells her about it, which is most likely impossible. And that's if the class president tells her about him, which, yes, as we went back to chapter 117, he was seen in the background eavesdropping, and he most likely watched them left. He is now the only person that knew that Asa left that has no idea what happened. He himself could just tell her about, like, where did you go with Denji, or where do you guys to, and then snap, her memory comes back, and that could lead to some interesting events. I like how Tatsuya likes to play with these little details, because I'm not gonna hold you, I honestly forgot about him because he's just so irrelevant, but he might be useful in the future chapters to come. He might just be useful. And man, I can't go a chapter without making fun of Asa, man. Ultimate cell. I really love how she had this 3-page essay about how it was just hormones kicking in, all that. I didn't really care, man. Yo, I have friends just like this that will walk across the street, walk a mile, do backflip, front flips, who read poetry and all that just to hear, I already have a boyfriend. Well, I didn't like you anyway. Like, oh my gosh. Asa's such a cell, man. I love it, man. I didn't like him anyway. All that work just to, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. And then the chapter ends with her seeing Yoshida, in which, I have to clear the air about Yoshida. A lot of people are questioning if Yoshida and Famine are working together, but I don't think they're working together, because if you look at the interest, Yoshida seems to hint upon that he wants to take down Death, and Famine may or may not know Denji's true identity, but wanted to make Asa turn Denji into a weapon, which I don't know if she knew was possible or not, or just because she don't know if Denji's Chainsaw Man, but it seems to imply that they don't have the same goals, because if they're after Death, Yoshida would have made it clear that Denji's off limits, because he's the only one that could eat Death / weaken Death to the point where they can maybe get rid of Death. And Famine, unless she betrayed Yoshida, would have most likely had a different form of plan for this. So I believe they have different goals in mind. I honestly can't tell you Famine's plan. Yoshida's plan seems to be targeting Death. So I honestly don't know. And that's pretty much the end of the chapter, man. What did you guys think? I thought this was a pretty okay chapter. I felt like if I'd have went back to certain chapters and read the whole series, I'd have been able to predict this. I kind of disappointed myself a little bit, but I still think this was a good chapter. I felt like I don't want to repeat what I said about last chapter, but I don't think Nayuta is truly evil. I just think she's very possessive with Denji because she feels like he's her big brother and is the only family she has left in this world. Well, the only family she knows of and have left in this world. And I feel like Denji feels the same, and he feels like he has to be responsible with Nayuta, so he's gonna make big sacrifices in his life just so he can raise Nayuta properly. I just wish but he himself is so young and doesn't know how to deal with children himself that he doesn't know that to a certain point he himself too have to discipline Nayuta and, set the boundaries, let her know from right from wrong, and you're a child and I'm an adult. But that's just my cute takes on the chapter, man. I'm not even gonna hold you guys, man. This is the one time I'm sad you guys watch my video. Instead of watching me, you guys should be having fun. But happy Valentine's Day. It's been B3. and stay animated.